So this is a case that I'm also a bit familiar with. Mr. Huntley, you're free to leave this. There, you're gone. The Zoom call. The case that I've also been familiar with, I've reviewed beforehand. We've had a couple of hearings. Things were reset to now. I will tell you, it's now 11:36. I don't know whether we need to stop this at about 11:50 because I have a meeting I need to be at on noon. And if we're not done by 11:50, we're going to pick it back up at 1:30 in courtroom number 1. All right.
Okay.
So Ms. Lowe, we'll start with you. Raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
You can put your hand down. How is it? These are your upstairs neighbors?
Yes, sir.
Who both live in different apartments upstairs. Is that correct?
Correct.
I'll hear from you on why you need an order against them. And you need to be individual, each one. You just can't say, well, they're doing this. I need to hear about Ms. Potter, and then I need to hear about Ms. Ehart. Am I saying your name correctly, Bassett? Is it Ehart or is it Ehart, or how do I say your last name?
It's Ehart.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Lowe.
I've lived at Forest Grove Apartments for 3 years now, going on 4.
I need you to speak louder and slower.
Can you hear me any better?
Yes.
Okay. I have lived at Forest Grove Apartments for 3 years now, going on 4, and this has been a continuous issue since I moved in. Amanda Ehart and Stephanie Potter have been a huge problem and impact on my life.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Slower. Slow down, okay?
Sorry.
It's not a race. And we'll have plenty of time this afternoon if we have to do that.
Okay. I have lived at Forest Grove Apartments for 3 years now, going on 4, and this has been a continuous issue since I have first moved in. Amanda Ehart and Stephanie Potter have been a huge problem and impact on my life. I feel as if I cannot even come outside of my own home, let my daughter play outside, or have any company at all. Like, it feels as if someone is watching us everywhere we go. It's gotten worse over the years, and I came to the point where I am fed up with the lies, threats, and comments. I'm not sure where else to turn to, so this is my last resort. I am a single parent with a 5-year-old daughter. I work 10 to 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and I rarely come home on weekends because I take care of my grandparents. When I do come home, they make me extremely uncomfortable. These women are outside majority of the day and night. They smoke cigarettes, so that's their reasoning for being out. With that being said, every time I come home from work or from my grandparents, they are outside on the porch or on the balcony in the back. They have men as well that live up there with them that I'm not very familiar with. They've lived there, but I don't know them personally. From the moment I drive my car into my parking space to the moment I get out of my vehicle to grabbing my daughter out of the car, down to me walking into my home, they stare at me, they make racial slurs, comments underneath their breath, even go as far as recording me with their phones. I rarely ever have any company over, but I have noticed that when I do have company, they tend to call the police and make false statements to get them to come out quickly and completely disrespect my family or friends. It's come down to the point where my family won't even come over anymore.
Okay, so again, you're speeding up, ma'am. You're speeding up. And so what did you say about the police?
I said, whenever they make police calls and false statements to make them come out quickly, threaten me. I'm sorry.
So they're calling the police on you?
Yes, correct. Correct. To get them out and completely disrespect my family or friends. It's come down to the point that my family will not come over anymore because of how uncomfortable they have made me and them. They had come downstairs on multiple occasions throughout the years, banging on my door, blowing smoke in my face, threatening me, all for minor instances. We do have a 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. noise rule in our complex at about 8 p.m., sometimes even as early as 6 p.m. They have called the police for playing music or parties. I only have 2 friends. Both have children with autism, and they are both nonverbal. So they do scream or yell occasionally, which I have already expressed to them before. I figured that they would understand that since one has stated that they have a son with autism as well. They do not care. I do not have parties, and I don't own any weapons in the home, from which they have told the police on multiple occasions. Another false report. I have offered police to come into my home on multiple occasions, but they have stated that there is no need. In police reports, you notice officer states words as such as no party, they were calm and cordial, and so forth as examples. I do not seek out for drama or problems. I'm quite a quiet person who sticks to herself. I don't talk to anyone in the complex. I have a lot going on in my personal life, and I do not have the time. People move in and out of the apartment so frequently, it's hard to really get to know someone. I had to even purchase a Ring camera because of all of these issues. I used to let my daughter play with toys outside in the back with the grass, but I can unfortunately no longer do this because of the harassment and drama. My daughter is now scared that police will come to our door, or even themselves, meaning Amanda as well as Stephanie, because of how frequent this has become. They have spit down on my company. When I state this, I believe it was Amanda. It was either Amanda or Fern, but he is not involved in this. They have made racial slurs towards all of my friends, African American or biracial, whichever it is. Also to myself as well. They throw trash down onto my porch. They burn holes in my furniture. They throw cigarettes at me. They take photos of me. They make false reports. They make me feel unsafe in my own home. As neighbors, I have never found it right to automatically call it law enforcement as soon as something doesn't go the way that I want it. I feel as if it can be handled civilly. Also, because there's no need to call the police every minor inconvenience for every minor inconvenience when law enforcement has much more important things to do. They are up at all hours, almost as if they don't even sleep. Sounds as if they are moving furniture, as an example, not directly. It's just very loud. Around 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. almost every night. They have a dog or some type of animal that continuously runs back and forth. They have questionable people coming in.
I think I'm going to stop you there. I think one of them has a child who has sleep issues, has been up. I think, and I expect I'll get an explanation for whoever that is. I think that's you, Ms. Uhart. Is that correct? Or Ms. Potter? Sorry. But continue on there, Ms. Lowe.
Okay. Questionable people coming in and out of the home at all hours. They play rock music at 5 a.m. They smoke cigarettes a lot, so it lingers into my apartment constantly. And mind you, all of these instances, I've talked to them about it on multiple occasions. We've had a few landlords in our apartment complex that have come and gone.
Ms. Potter, yeah, your facial expressions and demeanor are not helping you. I'm just telling you that. And so I'll give you a chance to respond. So you just need to conduct yourself in a little bit more respectful manner. Ms. Lowe, you can continue.
Thank you. I've seen all the statements that they've made, and I've seen that mine are, it's really just looking like a tit for tat type of situation, and it's really high school drama, and it's very annoying, and I'm very over it. I have reached out to them personally to try to resolve this. I've emailed our landlord about these issues. I've never called the police besides once or twice, and that's also, I have provided that, but I don't know if that's even relevant to the situation at this moment. I am trained and certified in crisis intervention. I am very well able to de-escalate many situations in many different settings. I've tried with them multiple times. It just does not work. With my previous fields of work, I am set to be in hostile situations on a daily basis. I would really appreciate it if I didn't have to deal with that at home as well. We have a few landlords that come and go, as I stated. But every single one of them, at some point, I have reached out about issues with Stephanie Potter and Amanda Ehart, our most current landlord. I have been speaking about these issues to since 4/27 of this year. And he stated, I have no incidents or documents of any complaints besides the ones I have made myself against them. They don't try to speak to our office. They immediately call the police to try to make malicious acts against me or to try to scare me. Our last court date was on 5/27 of this year. That evening, I had my screen door open, and while I was cleaning in the kitchen, I overheard them talking about me. And everybody that made a statement, everybody that had made a statement about them calling us worthless and trash, and that if my harassment order is granted, they will get my daughter involved in all of this. They are trying to find ways to retaliate me for filing harassment, and I just want peace. I want to be able to sit outside and let my daughter play with her friends and enjoy her company and my company, as well as they get to do so without any worries, or even be able to just open my windows or screen doors without hearing someone talk about me in terrible ways. This has affected my mental health, the constant worry of what's going to happen. This has affected my workspace, large amounts of stress, and this has also affected my means to be at home. I would really appreciate it if we could get this order in place so I can feel as if I have some stability I am asking for this protection order for threatening, intimidating, and stalking behaviors with these two parties. I feel cornered and outnumbered. It's me versus the four of them. And when I say four, I mean,
Ma'am, there's only two here.
Yes.
I only see orders against two folks. So that's the only thing
Correct.
that's in front of me here today.
Correct. I'm just putting that out there as to there is more people that live there as well. But yes, it's mainly them two, but it's just me versus them two, if that's in that instance. They use the fact that they are well above my age as leverage. They are not as charming as and as kind as they are appearing to be so. Per the other party statements, I have spoken with the apartment complex, and he has never stated that all three parties would be getting any form of an eviction notice. I also have this in email verification. The people that come in and out of their home make me feel unsafe. It's a hostile environment. I am not trying to kick anybody out. I'm not evil. I'm fair. I just want them to leave me and my family alone. I know that if this order is not granted, they will continue this. It will be worse than the high school drama I'm dealing with now, and they will try to retaliate with malicious intent.
So what we're going to have, we're going to stop now, and then we're going to reconvene at 1:30 in courtroom number 1, and then I'll hear from Ms. Potter and Ms. Ehart.
Thank you.
So when you log back in at 1:30, it needs to be courtroom number 1.
Okay.
Happened. There's been no spitting, no throwing cigarettes at people. I mean, those are criminal acts. You know, I mean, and we don't act like that. We don't want our children to act like that. As far as knocking on her door all the time, I've knocked on her door maybe twice. One time was to DoorDash to her, and the other time was to ask her to turn her music down. I am completely uncomfortable in my own home now because of this. I live upstairs. There's going to be noises. There's going to be things. I don't make racial comments. I have friends that are different races and people of different sexual orientations. This has been mentally excruciating. My son is freaking out. He's schizophrenic and autistic, thinking we have to move. Because I was told specifically from Cambridge, if any of this goes through, all three of us are out. And I have nowhere to go. I have 2 jobs, so I don't know how I am sitting here doing this. They are both full-time jobs. I am hardly ever here. This is ridiculous, and I can't deal with it. I really can't. I don't know what else to say.
How long have you lived there?
I have lived here over 6 years, and I've never had a problem with another neighbor. There is nothing
Ms.
in the
Ehart, how long
file.
have you lived here? Ms. Ehart?
I have
Hello?
lived here going 10 plus years now, almost 11.
Okay, and Ms. Lowe, you've been there for about 3? Is that accurate?
Correct. I'm going on 4.
Was there ever a time when the 3 of you got along? Or has this never gotten along?
If I'm completely honest, yes, in the very beginning when I first moved in, as I stated that they're always outside, they were outside smoking when I was moving in my furniture on my first day. And I was with my mother and my little brother, and we introduced ourselves. We were very nice to each other, and it was fine for a few months, and then it just started changing.
All right. So Ms. Potter, you can continue unless you're done.
Well, that had to do with the parties, which I have to say she hadn't been doing for quite some time. But in the beginning, they were all-night parties, yelling and screaming. Her boyfriend and her were going at it at the time, all the time. There were other neighbors that were calling the cops that no longer live here. And from my understanding, they left because of all of it. But that's been a couple of years ago. Now, this only other instance was the night of the barbecue stuff.
Well, tell me about that.
So I came home from work and there was music pounding in my apartment from downstairs. So we went outside and I noticed they were barbecuing. There was all this smoke everywhere. And I said, "You're not supposed to be barbecuing." And she was all, "Bitch, I don't have time for this right now. I am not dealing with this." And her friends started making racial comments to us. One of them said that he had a 9 and knows how to use it, not a knife, like the police report says. That's why we called, because we got threatened. Also, they were drinking and smoking weed, and one of them proceeded to pour alcohol on the flames, so it flamed on more because they were mad that we called the police. So, and then the police come, and there was a witness sitting on the back porch that heard the whole conversation between the police and Miss Lowe and her friends.
Do you smoke?
Yes, I do. I have smoked for over 30 years, all through cancer treatment, all during all of that, and I still smoke. But that is my prerogative and my business, and I don't think that anybody should tell me that I shouldn't be doing this or that when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm 51 years old. I know the risks. I've been through them. I'm in remission now. I had stage 4 laryngeal cancer. I have a tracheostomy site that still has a hole that I deal with every day. But I've been in remission for over a year now. And that's the other thing. If I was doing this all these years, for a year, I had a tracheostomy and I was going through cancer treatments and all that. So really, I'm going down and pounding on her door with that thing and my talking device.
Well, I think hang on just a second. My point was really going to be, you know, if you're smoking, why are you complaining about her barbecue smoke?
Because they were pouring the alcohol on there and the flames were coming up.
You told me that was after
After
the
what?
police showed up, after the police were called.
No. That was why we called the police. That and the comment made by one of her friends about the 9. Okay. I am extremely stressed out. I'm about to lose one of my jobs. My boss, in fact, said, you better tell the judge that your job is in jeopardy because I've been so stressed out. I've been unproductive. And I've missed work because of this.
Where do you work?
I work at Rocket on the corner of College and Martin Way, 102 College. Joan Hargrove is my boss, my manager there. And then I'm also my son's caregiver, which that will be in jeopardy too if I have this kind of stuff going on. And I'm also oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm also a mandatory reporter. So really, I'm going to be doing all of these things when it's stuff I should report that others are doing, being abusive. I mean, come on, please. I don't call people names. I mean, how do I hold jobs if I'm doing this kind of stuff all the time? It makes no sense.
Well, a lot of things don't make any sense. I mean, you just told me you continued to smoke through cancer. That makes no sense to me. That makes 0 sense to me. But that's not, I'm not judging. You talk about things that make no sense. That's something that doesn't make any sense to me. And so when you say, well, that makes no sense for me to do that, a lot of people do things that don't make any sense. So there's that. The second thing is, you know, this amount of stress that you're obviously under, which I can observe just even through Zoom, you might want to consider that Ms. Lowe might be experiencing that same amount of stress. Just food for thought there. And so maybe you could take that into consideration as you conduct yourself around the apartment. Because I'm just throwing out some food for thought there. It's the same thing there with Ms. Ehart. But here's So here's what's gonna happen today. So I guess I would say one other thing. You know, you had said that if the order goes through, you've been told by the establishment that, you know, that everyone's gonna have to leave. I would think that you would conduct if that's true, I would think you would conduct yourself going forward in a manner that keeps that in mind. I don't want to do anything that's going to put my living arrangement in jeopardy. So, I mean, maybe take care, maybe not smoke where secondhand smoke can get into Ms. Lowe's space, and just be considerate. But here's what's going to happen today, ma'ams, I should say, all three of you, is, so Ms. Lowe, I'm going to speak to you directly. And that is, you know, I read when you, so it seems like, well, it was a long time ago now, but this morning when I read the definition of harassment, and, you know, it's directed at a specific person, serves no lawful purpose and what have you. You know, a lot of the things I've heard, like I said, I can't enter an order that that gives you good neighbors. I can't enter an order that says, you know, that tells people how to behave. I can't enter an order that says, hey, you can't smoke. If she's complying with the rules around the apartment, then with whatever those rules are with regard to smoking, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't order her to be considerate. You know, the things that where you said you overheard things that were said, and that's the other thing, Ms. Potter, everyone's on their best behavior when they come into court. Everybody's a saint when they appear in front of me, but I live in the real world too, and I know things are a little bit different when I'm out there. When the things that happen out there are a little bit different from what's relayed to me in court. I get that. But the other things you may have overheard with them, for lack of a better term, bad mouthing you. You know, that's, you know, I liken that back to the comment that I made earlier about what you see all too often in social media, like tell this person to stop bad mouthing me or stop talking bad about me on Facebook or what have you. You know, I can't stop that, nor can I stop, you know, gossip among tenants. And if these people are going to gossip amongst themselves, you know, frankly, there's not much I can do about that. You know, apartment living can be challenging. Sometimes people make noise. That, you know, Ms. Potter indicated, well, your music was too loud once. And you have said, well, Ms. Potter's makes noise coming from her apartment as well. If I get the parties right, Ms. Potter, I think it's your child who maybe not be a child anymore, which makes, well, I mean, remember how irritated you were about the noise? Ms. Lowe might feel the same way about the thumping around in your apartment, even though there's mitigating things about that, but she's not crazy about that. She's got a job too. And if that's affecting her ability to sleep, she's going to be irritated about that also, don't you think? And so this is a long way of saying, you know, it's terribly unfortunate that you folks can't get along, but based on the allegations that, you know, that you have read there, Ms. Lowe, you know, I'm not going to enter an order at this time. But I hope that you all listen to all this, and I mean everybody, you know, maybe have some consideration for your neighbors. And again, well, I'll leave this. I mean, if you're gonna smoke, maybe you can do it in a way, or go out in the front, or away from her, where it gets her. I think, you know, that might make a little bit extra effort to be considerate. But you know, which I can order, but I think if you really have an interest in making sure that you're not going to get in any more trouble, the police aren't going to be called, you know, all of you can kind of conduct yourself in a manner with that in mind. I don't want to leave here. I want to stay here. You've been here for years. You don't want to do anything to mess that up now. You understand and that's to everybody. You understand that, Ms. Potter? And I need you to, it's helpful to speak out loud. You can unmute yourself.
Sorry. Yes.
Ms. Ehart?
Yes.
Ms. Lowe?
Yes.
Good luck to everybody. I mean, you're all adults. I would encourage you all to act like it. And that'll be it here for today.
I do have a quick question. Since we
Yes.
did all of this in the court, is it gonna stay in the system? So it so to speak, for example, where everything's fine now and, like a month or two later, it goes back at it again. Am I able to file another harassment order and will it
If
be
you
in
could,
place of this
yes,
one?
I mean, you can, and again, no, I'm only making a ruling as to what's to happen now. What happens in the future, I've given up trying to predict that, so I'm not gonna do that. But hopefully, everybody can listen to what I'm saying, and before they do anything or act or have a reaction to what's going on, maybe just take a step back and think about it. Do I really want to do this? Is this going to take the bad situation and things going to get better, or are things going to get worse based on what I do around the house? And again, I would ask you all to consider that. I mean, they say maybe someone's not throwing ashes, but someone's careless with ashes from an upstairs balcony. Ashes are going to fall down. And be careful about that. And I just, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Good luck to everybody. I hope you have it figured out there. It'd be a big deal for you all have to uproot at this point, and hopefully that won't happen. We won't come to that.
Thank you.
I don't think anybody wants that.
No.
No.
All right, well then act accordingly, and we'll sign off here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can get a copy of this off the district court website.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank